this morning. So those are my 3 tips. Number 1 is live streaming and all the different places you can live stream. Number 2 is running an online challenge, whether it be 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, to up engagement and to get people excited to work with you. Number 3 is starting a podcast and guesting on podcasts, which establishes you as a thought leader and makes you that forward-moving train that people want to jump aboard. Hello and welcome to the Visibility Vixen podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Lewis, and this show is 100% geared to come alongside you, give you a huge hug, and encourage you to keep going down this crazy trail of entrepreneurship. Between myself and the many incredible guests that come on to talk to you, you're going to leave each episode feeling inspired, motivated, and a little bit more balanced for the road ahead. I'm all about building a brand of integrity, purpose, and skyrocketing your visibility so that you can step into that incredible mission you were born to live. So grab a cup of iced tea, pop in those earbuds, and let's chat. So excited to be here with you this morning. My plans got moved around, and so I'm like, why don't I hop on a live and spend it with my girls? So I am here this morning much earlier than I usually am live streaming. So hopefully I get to see some of you guys that I don't normally get to see. So welcome. If you're new to the group, so happy that you're here. Welcome to the Visible Entrepreneur. We focus so much on all the aspects of visibility, and it's not just the tech, it's the heart stuff too. So we're really, really happy that you're here. Yes, I do enter your names by hand. Yes, I do look at everything you post. This is definitely a group that is very heart-centered. For those of you that have been here for a long time, welcome back. Thank you for supporting the atmosphere here. You know that I love ya. So today what we're going to be talking about is 3 ways to grow your Facebook group and your list now. I know this can feel very nebulous when you're getting started, where you're like, how do I grow my group? How do I grow my list? How do I get started? And it can feel like a lot of work. And for the first year, for sure, growing your Facebook group is a lot of work, but it's so beneficial because it gives you a more intimate experience with your ideal clients, with your audience, than you could anywhere else. It's so much easier to pop into the group and hop on a live, or to put in a quick comment or a poll, than to go and do a broadcast. And the feedback is more immediate. So it's not only a little bit easier for you, overall, it's easier for your audience. So if you haven't started a group yet, I highly recommend it. No, you do not need to have a huge list before you start a group. You can start small. As long as you are putting time and effort into your group and responding to people's posts and upping engagement as much as you can, you're not going to have an issue. And I noticed such a difference when I really sat down and did exactly what I wanted to do in my group, versus looking at everyone's groups and trying to copy them. So I encourage you to do that as well. If you're hopping on, say a quick hello. I would love to see who's here. And other than that, we are going to jump in. Are you ready? So these strategies, even though they're meant primarily to be group building, they're also inevitably list building, because your group has all these different beautiful places, whether it's the description or the cover photo or your files, where people can figure out how they can work with you, whether that's a free training, your YouTube channel, your podcast, or ultimately joining your list and buying from you. I tend to give people a really easy way to start working with me, which is a free training, which then leads into an opt-in. So that makes it not an opt-in, I'm so sorry, a tripwire, which is a $27 class. That's a really easy thing for people to buy to see if they like learning from my style. So those are a couple different ideas that are swirling in my brain. But other than that, okay, so we're going to jump in and we're going to look at 3 strategies to grow your group and list now. The first one, shocker, you're not going to expect this. It's live streaming. Oh my God, I know, revolutionary. So live streaming is a fantastic strategy to grow your group that did not exist a year ago. So important for you to get used to this. If you need to take the Comfy on Camera challenge, get your butt in there. Toy's been doing a fantastic job this week, hasn't she? If you need to practice, this is the place to do it. I don't care if you're live streaming every day in here. Get comfortable, because this is a fantastic strategy. You can do this on your personal page so that friends of yours that are maybe in multi-level marketing or have their own business can hop on into your group, or if they're dealing with a pain point that you teach on. Who's coming to my brain is Jessica Turner, the newborn navigator. So those are moms that are struggling with getting their baby to sleep. So whoever your audience is, chances are you have a couple people that you're already friends with on your personal page that can hop into your group. And the great thing about doing it on your own profile is that you can put in the description all the links you want, right? Number 2 is guest live streaming in other people's groups. So here's the rules with that. If you're just going into a group to do a live, totally fine. Always a good idea if it's a group, I'd say under 1,000 people, to email the leader of the group to see if it's okay. But honestly, unless there's a rule explicitly saying that you can't, I don't think you need to worry about it. So what you would do there is you would do a live, but you wouldn't have any links, right? Because it's a no promo space for the most part. So in that case, you would say, hey, if anyone is interested in joining my group, please, comment below and I'll PM you. You can do that. That's a way to get people into your group. You can also follow up with the people who watched afterwards or commented afterwards. If you were invited to do a guest live stream, and a great place to start is asking your friends who have their own group, because they'll be more like, oh yeah, come on in and do whatever. That's when you put in your description the different links that can bring people over to your group. So whenever I do a guest live stream, I fill out that text. You can see it a little bit here in this live where I have my different bullet points and I have the different calls to action there. So live streaming is a great way to build your list and to grow your Facebook group, because you're referring people and they're getting to see you. I can't tell you how many people have come into this group or joined my list and then messaged me and said, I saw you in so-and-so's group. I loved your energy. I want to work with you. So that really, really works. So it's a good strategy to start implementing your business now. Hey, Nancy girl, how you doing, my darling? Okay, so that's strategy 1, live streaming. Personal page in your group. You can even record your live, like save it to your phone, upload that to Instagram, whatever you want to do. Number 2, running an online challenge. This is group specific, but it does add to your list, of course. So this is what I did with the Comfy on Camera challenge. It's now evergreen for a couple of months until I can get everything else that's going on handled. But in the beginning, I would do it along with you in terms of going in and live streaming every day with you. This is a fantastic way to build relationships. Case in point are 2 of my favorite people, Lisa and Kaylee, who came in on the very, 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 very first Comfy on Camera challenge. They saw it advertised in a group under a promo day. They came into my group, they participated in the challenge, and I still talk with them today. I've watched their businesses grow, they watch my business grow, and we both have a loyalty to each other, all because of a challenge. So challenges are a fantastic thing to do. It can be 5 days long, it can be 2 days long, it can be 7 days long, probably not more than that. So it's a really, really great idea to start incorporating into your group and have it be in your niche. It doesn't have to be a live streaming challenge. I see this with a lot of people where they are trying to teach people how to live stream, but they're, a relationship coach. And it's like, what are you doing, right? So make it in your niche, really stand on your real estate, make it personal to you. What's something really, really cool that you can teach people in 4 or 5 days, right? Make it really unique because you have a beautiful niche that people want to learn more about. So highly, highly encourage that. Hey Heather, how are you? I was just watching your video. It's fantastic. So that is a fantastic idea, is to host your own challenge. I know that it's a little bit more work, but what I do, go to the coffee shop, write it out on drafting paper. Okay, what's the main topic I want to cover? And then start putting in bullet points of what can go under that main topic, and then narrow that down to 5 specific ones. And there's your 5 days or your 3 days or whatever. Don't go too broad. Don't be like, I'm going to have a 5-day mindset challenge and I'm going to tell people every single thing I know about mindset. It's going to be too much. So when I did the Manifesting Miracles challenge, I went to the coffee shop, I got it out and went, what are the key factors of manifesting? And so I was writing down like affirmations and intentions and, that kind of stuff. And so I was able to cover one topic per day with one action step. Really, really important that you don't throw too much at people. You can go a little deeper if you're going to do a live like for that day, but make it really simple. Then shape out your 5 emails. Tack on the end what you would like to offer, whether it's a one-on-one coaching session or a course or whatever it may be. Hang on. Okay, sorry. My account was like, boo, ClickFunnels. I'm learning ClickFunnels, by the way. I'll let you know how that goes. Okay, so that's number 2, running an online challenge. Ready for 3? Ready for 3. Ready for 3. Throw a yes if you're ready for 3. Okay, I'm a little goofy this morning. Number 3 is starting a podcast. I know you were expecting it. I know that it's a shock, but I think this has by far created more opportunity for me, brought more people into my group, and added more people to my list than anything else. And you don't have to start as big with like a podcast. If you want, just start by uploading your live streams to your YouTube channel and call that a show. You know what I mean? Because you can always later strip the audio and make that a podcast. That's what Marie Forleo does. But I think it's a really great idea to even just start thinking. If you even start shaping your live streams in this way of you're a thought leader, people need to follow you to learn what you know. Like if you are a thought leader, you know it, right? And most likely if you're in this group, you are. Because you have this grand idea of how the planet needs to change for the better, how you're going to help the world increase its frequency, how you're going to help people. In my Facebook Live Fast Track course, 95% of the women in there are whale personalities, which means they want to help people. Their biggest struggle with live streaming is pitching themselves because they just want to help people. So they feel selfish putting themselves out there and having an ask, right? That's a wonderful, beautiful quality because it means that you're one of those people that's going to help change the world. The best way to establish yourself as an authority in your niche, in your expertise, is to have some kind of medium that you can stamp your name on. So for me, it's the Visibility Vixen podcast, right? So for other people, they're fine having their YouTube channel. Fantastic, great. It's easier for some people. Some people, the thought of a podcast, terrifying. And if you're not in my podcasting funnel, the link is above. Get in there because I'm teaching you how to start your own podcast, and my course, Purpose-Led Podcasting, is officially live. So you can also join that course if you want more of the step-by-step. So Nancy, for me, I personally host my podcast on Squarespace. Just because that's where I set up my main feed. It's very easy for me. 99% of the people in the business do it through Lisbon. So Lisbyn, but you are looking at like a $40 to $100 monthly cost. So for Squarespace, it's free for what I pay for Squarespace. If you want to know more, definitely hop into Purpose-Led Podcasting. So I think that a podcast, it's work. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's about 2 hours a week of extra work in terms of recording, editing, and uploading. But the benefits so outweigh that time because A, you're establishing yourself as that thought leader. As you guys see, every week I'm posting in here with, hey, this week on the show, blah, 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 blah. It gives you something to look forward to. It shows you Michelle's actually doing something. So she has this new thing out for me. It's an exciting thing, right? Number 2, if your podcast is interview style, you're meeting other people. This is a fantastic way to leverage yourself and get you more known in the community because say you interview someone, maybe they don't have a huge following. Let's say they have like 1,000 people. Well, they're so excited to be on a show and to be interviewed, they're putting that out to their 1,000 people who then are listening to your show, who then are joining your group and joining your list, right? So most of my followers Where have they come from? Angie Lee's Hungry for More podcast, Jen Casey's Entrepreneur Now podcast, Lindsay Maloney's Self-Made and Savvy podcast. There's been a lot of people that have found me through other podcasts. So it's a really great way. You're hosting your show, they're promoting it to their audience. Eventually you'll start getting brought onto shows so you can promote your group to an audience. So podcasting, whether or not you're the interviewer or the interviewee, brings so much to your group and to your list. So like today, because if you haven't listened to the show yet this week, I brought on some Visibility Vixen listeners and we all talked about the favorite episodes of the show, why they love podcasting, why it's a really intimate way to reach them, which I thought was fantastic. I'm going to be editing together a 60-second clip, putting that in the group here for you guys to see to increase the traffic for people to go and either watch the episode on YouTube or listen to it on iTunes or Stitcher. So it's a really cool way to keep the engagement because it's important that you're popping up in the group a couple times a week so people know, okay, she's still here, she has more things to say, that kind of stuff. Do you hear what I'm saying? So any questions when it comes to podcasting, starting a show, what the best medium is for you, I would love to answer those questions because I know that this is probably the stickiest tip because there's a lot that goes into it. Of course, there's different equipment that you can get, but you can start with your phone, plug in your headphones, right? Make sure it doesn't be brushing against your hair. Hold it out here and talk into it. There's some of my shows, especially the one that's called Supermoon, where I was climbing a mountain. So I had to do it right here, holding it out. So there's no shame in that. There's a plane going overhead. You guys hear it? Burbank Airport has changed their flight path this morning. So those are my 3 tips. Number 1 is live streaming and all the different places you can live stream. Number 2 is running an online challenge, whether it be 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, to up engagement and to get people excited to work with you. Number 3 is starting a podcast and guesting on podcasts, which establishes you as a thought leader and makes you that forward-moving train that people want to jump aboard. It also is another way for people to ingest your content, which is a fantastic, fantastic thing. So if we don't have any more questions, those are the 3 main tips that I wanted to share with you to start chewing on, especially since I know a lot of you have recently started your group or you're struggling to get engagement or you're struggling to grow. So those are my main tips. Here's the different action steps that you can take. A, listen to the podcast, iTunes and Stitcher, Visibility Vixen, click subscribe. If you leave me a review, that would be fantastic. It helps me so much. You have no idea. There's an algorithm in iTunes and on Stitcher that bumps up your show the more reviews that you have. So that would be fantastic. Number 2 is join the podcasting funnel. That is a preset of emails where you sign up for Podcasting Month. You get a free checklist, and then I'm giving you the different shows, the different notes, the different blogs that all have to do with podcasting to help encourage your education in the subject. And then let's see, what else do we have? And then if you have any other ladypreneur friends that you adore, that you know need help with their visibility, please encourage them to come into this group. I trust you guys. You are here and you are wonderful beings. So I know I'd rather have you guys bringing people into the group than anybody else because you know my jam. You've been around me for a while now. So if you know anyone that would be a great fit, like I know Maureen brought Nancy in here, then that would be fantastic. But in the meantime, Tuesday, what are our plans for the week? What are our goals? I know for me, something that I'm doing in my business, a little behind the scenes here, I've been doing a lot of research into ClickFunnels for hosting my first online summit. I know I've teased that a couple of times. It's going to be coming up August 1st. And I've been figuring out how am I going to host this bad boy? And it looks like ClickFunnels is going to be the answer. And it looks like eventually I'm going to be switching most of my stuff over to ClickFunnels. So I'll let you know how that goes. And eventually I'll be, once I figure it out, I'll let you guys know how to figure it out. Because right now it's like, what is happening? So fantastic. Debbie, thank you so much for sharing the show. That's wonderful. I love that. Hopefully it will help people out there who are either wanting to listen to a new show, or I know a lot of my podcasting friends have messaged me and are like, this is genius. I need to interview my listeners. Remember, Debbie, when I told you guys, hey, everyone else is going to start doing this. So it's already started. Heather, you're welcome. Wishing you guys just an amazing Tuesday. You have 4 days to make some forward momentum progress in your business. So decide on one thing that you want to work on this week to get accomplished, to move yourself ahead. It's these daily action steps that really start to add up. And next week on the show, I think this is what I'm going to do. Let me know what you guys think. I'm grabbing the episodes that I've guested on from the different friends whose shows I've been on, and I'm going to put them all into one show that showcase the different aspects of kind of my story, cutting it all together into one, where you can also get to know these different shows and like follow the ones you want to follow. So haven't seen that done before either. We'll see what happens. Sometimes I feel like I'm a crazy person because I'm in this creative mode of doing things other people haven't done. So you're kind of like blazing this trail and like, I hope it works. Like I hope people like it. We'll see. I don't know, but I find it interesting. So thanks, Debbie. I hope it comes across well. We'll see. But anyway, so I'm going to get to editing and working on my biz. I just wanted to come in and give you guys some love and encourage you to start growing your group and your list. Now, feel free to throw any questions in the comments. In the meantime, I'm going to start my day. Abby says, my podcast intro woke me up at 3:45 a.m. No. Popped into my head and I had to jump up and get it written down. That's fantastic though. Isn't it funny that sometimes it keeps you up? I read somewhere that Tesla, he knew he was not going to sleep that night if when he laid down, he started like seeing people's faces in his mind. That was his subconscious's way of being like, get to the lab, you're not sleeping tonight. So Nancy's being interviewed for a podcast on Thursday. Congratulations. Is it your first guesting? That's fantastic. Oh my gosh. So that's wonderful. Maybe I should start a thread in the group that is like, hey, podcast features, so that whatever podcast people have been featured on, they can throw the link in there. It's a good idea. I'll write that down. Krista, if you're watching, write that down for me. Okay, podcast thread. There we go. So yeah, that is so exciting, Nancy, and exactly kind of what we're talking about. So what I do is I have a Google Doc. You guys might want to start this just so you don't have to worry about it later. And I track the different episodes that I do, like their name, the link in terms of where they're hosting it on their site, and then the iTunes link, YouTube if it's applicable, just so that I have those in the future. And then I try to always get the graphic of the show just for future reference if I'm promoting it. So it's a good way that you can, and then I throw it up in Meet Edgar and it just cycles on Twitter by itself all day long. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I'm gonna get off now. I've been here 20 minutes. Loving you guys so much. Mwah. Have a wonderful day. I will talk to you later.
Thanks for listening in today to the Visibility Vixen podcast. Subscribe now and share with a fellow Vixen who wants to start building their visibility. For more fire in your life and brand, visit visibilityvixen.com.